Hello again, and welcome back to the SWRA podcast, where aging, wellness, and wisdom intersect. I am Maggie, your host, and I am so happy to have you on today. And if this is your first time coming on, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, listener, welcome back. We are delighted to have you back. So today I'm going to get right into it. I said I want to continue the topic of happiness being a choice. You know, we're all about wisdom, right? Especially wisdom in retirement, in this temporada, in this season of life. We want to practice wisdom in how we see life, how we attack life, and how we protect ourselves, right? So when I was younger, and I remember, newly married, and you kind of believe all the hype. Remember the knight in shining armor. You want to picket fence. You want a husband and two children and a car. All the stuff that we dreamed about. So for me, my happiness was directly linked to those things. I was like, it depends on how my husband, treated me. It depended on how I picked a mate. It depended on the kind of job that I had, whether I had friends or not, or whether I had people in that facility, in my case, a hospital setting, that I did things with, and I really enjoyed being with them. And I had that for a time. But again, it is not a permanent. So if your happiness is based on circumstances, you're going to be so disappointed because remember what I said, my previous pastor said, life is filled with pain, with glimpses of happiness. So if you're focused on the pain, you're not going to see the forest from the trees. You're not going to see the happiness when it comes. And what is that happiness? That is the crux of the question. Happiness is, this is a belief system. It's almost like an armor that you put on. It is linked to who you are, how you think, how you feel. What priorities do you have in your thinking? Because listen, if you're at the lower level of Maslow's hierarchy and you're worried about where you're sleeping, where you're going to lay your head, it's kind of difficult to come tell you about happiness. But let's move to the few decades, and now you're in retirement. How are you going to define your happiness? Is it that you have a large pension coming in, therefore you're allowed to rent a beautiful penthouse somewhere, invite the ladies and have them salivate over what you have? Is it related to health, right? So as we get older and things, parts start coming off and malfunctioning, and we have to do this and that to kind of correct and fix ourselves like a car. I give you the analogy of a car, and people usually clutch their pearls. Oh no, man, it's making like it's just a figure of speech. So in retirement, what are some things you need to decide for yourself? Remember, it's a decision. It's a belief system. It cannot be tied only to the amount of money that you're receiving in Social Security or in your pension or investment. It's important. But you cannot say, oh, as long as I have money in my account, then I'm happy. Does that work for you? Those of you who have enough money in your bank, are you happy every single day? And I can hear somebody saying, oh, yeah, Miss Maggie, here in Panama, I'm happy every single day. But listen, I love you, but I don't think that's accurate. Okay. Sometimes we lie to ourselves to make ourselves look a certain way to others, right? And we're on this journey together. We don't need to outshine each other. And I think that's another problem we're dealing with in retirement. Is it based on the location where you are? Well, that could have a lot to do with it. If you're in the States and you're being pulled over and you're seeing how they're mistreating people, that might be challenging for you, right? Are you upset because of outlier things like poverty and human trafficking? Absolutely, those things should be of concern to us. But should our happiness, the way we feel about ourselves, about the world around us, should that be dependent upon the circumstances that you have no control over? I say not. Happiness is an intrinsic feeling, a dedication, a commitment to your values, which you can define them any way you want. Is that health? Is that how you react, you interact with other people, social interactions? Is it contingent upon your health? I think I said that. Is it contingent about how many friends you have in your new home? So you see how convoluted, and then it kind of branches out. You can't hang on to this, but what you need to do is just decide for yourself every day. How am I going to live my life today? Will I let myself be swayed by the news? Or will I overreact when something doesn't go my way? And you remember my story about lots of people on Skid Row because they made one bad decision in a fit of anger. So that's why I said to my kids, I used to say, make up your mind before you get into the situation. So our happiness in retirement cannot be tied to circumstances, our health, our marital status, how many friends we have. This is where you dig deep inside of you to find something that brings you happiness. Oh my God, and I got it. Cooking, creating, those things fill me with joy. Doing some exercises. I don't say overwhelming it with joy. I don't really like to exercise. I do it because I have to. Okay, I'll be truthful. I do because I have to. But some people who say, oh my God, if I don't exercise, I feel like, no, not sis here. I do it because I know it's good for me. I don't like to sit all the time either, right? So describe happiness for yourself, sis. What makes you happy? Take inventory, write it down. And the things that you have decided, you have written down on your list that make you happy, do more of them every day. Now, you don't have to repeat the same thing, but out of 10, do maybe 3 each day and then recycle and then go back again. Because the enemy will tell you, if the world is falling, then you're falling too. Well, if you don't have another message, you will. So remember, happiness starts in the mind. It's an attitude, it's a belief system, it's a commitment to whatever it is you commit to. I know what I commit to every day. All right, so take inventory and then manage your expectation, manage your emotions, and you're going to be a happy camper, cool as clam. All right, God loves you. I love you. Go be a good human today. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Bye.